Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Right. Hey, peace and jazz to everyone. You are watching the Preservation of Jazz Hour live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other social media platforms. Like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest TV, the coolest station in the world, in the entire world. Yes, and today we have such a great show. I just love you. You already know that. I first saw her, I was like, I love her. I really do love her. Let's sing another song. Why did she get to sing 2 songs?
So let the audience know to whom you are speaking and praising today.
All right. You know who she is, y'all. Olivia Van Goor, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Welcome.
So happy to be here.
Yes,
So
thank
glad to
you.
have you.
So we're just going to get into some conversation. Okay. So I thought today would be one of those great days where we could just kind of reminisce because the season is over. Summer is approaching, you know, and it's going to be just like crazy jazz, awakening, lyrics spilling out of your pores. Like this whole thing is happening, you know. I know I'm looking real radical today.
You're looking beautiful.
I'm feeling like a jazz. I'm a jazz artist.
It's coming out of your pores
jazz.
today,
You got her
huh?
cherries. You know her jazz cherries. You got your beautiful gold and your blonde and your purple spice lipstick. All of this. So we're gonna just get into some reminiscing.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, I'll give you a page of stuff, and we'll just kind of go about. Let me turn this music down a little bit, and let's get down to the nitty gritty.
All right.
There's some really good stuff. Yeah. Oh, that sounds so good. Let me do it again. That's sweet. Okay. So let's see here. I love what's today? Today is April the 20th.
Yes.
So what was going on today at April 20th?
I looked for that. I didn't find my April. Oh, did I miss it? Let me see. I just saw 14. Oh, here we are.
Yeah, let's dig into what's
look.
been going on.
Yeah, well, April
let's
30th,
20th.
1923. I mean, April 20th, yeah. 1923 in New York, Tito Puente, percussionist and band leader. What was he doing? Oh, he was born.
Say, what was he
He wasn't
doing?
playing yet. Maybe he was playing.
Right, absolutely. Well, Tito
Probably not.
Puente was born that year.
Oh, that's
Yes,
exciting.
1923 in New York.
Okay, I'll take one. I'll take one on my dad's birthday, which was April 17th. Bassist Buster Williams, born 1942 in Camden, New Jersey. Banjoist, guitarist Johnny Saint. What is that name? Cyr? C-Y-R. What is that?
CYR?
Saint Cyr.
That's
Saint
the
Cyr,
full of it, CYR,
born
huh?
1890 in New Orleans, Louisiana. Pianist, composer Mary Lou Williams and Cecil Taylor records "Embraced" at Carnegie Hall, 1977.
Nice.
That's nice.
Yes.
You got something for us?
Yeah, do I just pick a date?
Yeah, just pick
Okay.
a date.
All right, why not? Let's see. Okay, let's see. I only have a stack that goes to February, but I can.
Oh yeah. Just let's dig in.
Let's see what's catching my eye. What do I think is cool? There's so many awesome facts in here. So
Yes.
I actually was drawn to the fact that right off the bat, you got Milt Jackson on January 1st was born
Yes, that's my
in
uncle.
Detroit.
Yes.
And then you got, I didn't know. Okay. All right.
There's some good stuff on
Yeah.
Oh,
This
my
is like, I
goodness.
could read this. I got to remember, I got to talk about it.
Yes.
But let's see.
We got bassist Richard Davis, born 1930 in Chicago, Illinois, on April 15th. Vocalist Betsy Smith, born in 1894 in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Yes. Trumpeter Miles Davis, quintet records in Pearson Saturday night at the Black Hawk. Ooh, 1961.
61, beautiful. Well, I just ran into this from January 22nd, 1946. Billie Holiday records Good Morning Heartache.
Oh,
yes.
That's such a good one.
Okay, I got one. April 26th, coming up, is my mom's birthday. And blues singer Ma Rainey was also born that day.
Oh,
really?
I'll have to tell her.
Exciting.
Yes,
She
that's
doesn't know
exciting.
much about music,
So you got to keep her
but
on
I'll
the
tell her
square,
it's really
you know?
pretty cool.
Oh, that's
very much
nice.
so, see?
Oh, April 22nd, my husband's mother's birthday. Bassist composer Charles Mingus, born 1922 in Nogales, Arizona.
Okay.
Nogales,
Nogales,
Arizona. Bassist Paul Chambers, born 1935 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And bassist John, Kirby? Sextet records 20th Century Closet, 1940.
26. Wow, that's so interesting. Well, I don't know this vocalist. Maybe one of you might know her. I'm assuming it's a female. Ivy Anderson. She was born in 1905 in Gilroy, California. But along with this, one of my favorite jazz artists, Nat King Cole Trio, records Body and Soul, 1944.
Yeah, what day was that?
Huh?
What day was that?
Do they give me a day? No, they do not. They just said 1944.
Okay.
Yeah, the trio. Yeah, that. Oh, I would like to have been a fly on the wall.
Yes, isn't that something?
Yes.
All this great music.
Yes.
And, speaking of great music, of course, we have the beautiful Olivia Van Goor in our studios today. And it's such a pleasure. And your swag. I don't really use that word a lot, but you got some swag.
Thank you.
Your voice is just so rich and just so thick and robust, but it's still very clairvoyant and soft. It's still soft, but it has a lot of strength behind it.
Yes.
And it's so confident. So how did all of this happen?
God, I get asked that, and sometimes in this setting it makes sense, but sometimes I have to tell the person, like, do you got a minute? Because I have a story.
We have a minute.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so this works, but sometimes after a show, someone's like, so, how'd you end up here? I'm like, do I tell you, like, the short version? It'll take
Long
about
story
20 minutes.
short,
The
right.
long one will take about,
Yeah.
But I always think about, I think about it almost every day, about the little decisions and the little moments of meeting people that I can clearly see now change the trajectory of my path, as we all do in life.
Yeah.
But I really think about it, and I am just I feel so lucky to have met the people that I did at the time of my life, because I wasn't ever set in becoming a musician as a career. I didn't grow up with musicians around me, and it's not that it was discouraged, because that wasn't the case. I studied piano since I was I guess 10 years old in first grade-ish.
Yes, okay.
And then maybe a little earlier, and then I was classical trained, and then I was getting into music in other ways, but I was never wanting to be in the front, which is so funny.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do for a living.
It's beautiful.
Right.
Absolutely.
But I think, in addition to so many lessons that I learned through studying different instruments, and then it bringing me to music and bringing me to this specific type of music, I can so see the path. But at the time when I was a kid, I just liked singing in my room, or singing with the piano, or singing with, I played guitar a little bit. I just liked doing it myself, and I would sing with people, but I would see younger, honestly, the girls I would compare myself to and be like, oh, they've been studying singing since they were,
yes.
5.
Yeah.
And it's so stupid, because I used to think, oh, I missed my mark,
You
and I'm like
missed
12
your
years
moment.
old.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
But I felt like an imposter in that setting, and so I didn't audition for a lot of things. And then when I started singing, even when I would audition for things, I hadn't been realized into my voice, into my identity, I think.
Okay.
And I didn't get a single solo in choir in all through school, which is just one of those things that is like you never know what life's gonna turn into.
Yeah. So true.
Because now I do that all the time, and so it's so funny how things like that kind of work out. So.
Excuse me if I may ask, who was one of the people who served as a catalyst for you getting into this particular genre?
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
like I had said, I was in choir, and I was a music theory student in high school, and I was around those people. And I made friends with a girl, Rachel, and she was my best friend in high school. And in junior year, she had been really into theater her whole life, and she kind of was the person that introduced me to a lot of those people. And when you're that young, it's like it feels so intimidating.
Yeah.
And so she told me, right, and you want to preserve your own your own swagger. You want to you want to be proud. You don't want to take that risk because you could get rejected. So I was so lucky to have a friend who pushed me, because she said, there's a musical coming up. If you help me with the music part, because she was not an experienced singer, then she would help me with the audition part.
Okay.
Now, how old was Rachel at this time?
We were both 16, 17.
You just had it together, though. You had a goal. That's the beautiful part of the story.
It was wonderful, because then the musical that was happening that year was Thoroughly Modern Millie, which is the jazz, musical theater crossover kind of music, and I got cast as the main singer in the show.
Excellent.
And the character is a jazz singer, and so I'm introduced to this role that little did I know would become my life's role. But then when I started doing that show, the director said, you have to audition for the jazz band next year. And funny enough, I also had a gateway there, because the boy I was dating in high school was the drummer for the jazz band. So I threw, it took me having these connections, which is how we all do it,
That's
right?
how it happens.
It's how you don't, some people are ballsy enough to walk into things and just be like, I'm here, I deserve this, I'm here. And I'm much better at that now.
Okay.
But when I was that young and I just wasn't exposed to music or not music, I wasn't exposed to the musician lifestyle career, I needed those people to help me,
kind of navigate that whole thing.
And not to feel so vulnerable. It's so different when going into an audition room where there's I still remember the audition meeting, and there were lead sheets for everyone's audition part, and there's the vocalist pile. The song was Night and Day. It was the first jazz tune I ever learned. And I walk up and I grab my thing, and I sat down next to him, and if I wasn't sitting next to him and had someone to cling to, I would have just felt such an imposter. Why am I even here?
Yeah.
All these other kids, they already belong here, and I don't belong here. And so then I worked really hard, because I really liked what was happening when I was in that style. I liked that environment singing wise, and so I tried really hard to get in, and I did. So I sang it in my senior year, and that was the first exposure I had to that.
So we're right there.
Yep.
Night and Day. Yep. You kill it.
Yep. You want to hear a funny thing about this?
Let me hear it.
It's something that I tell my students all the time, because it worked so well, where I wanted this position so bad, right? There's only one vocalist spot, and so I wanted it so bad that I also didn't know, I was like, it's just a sheet. I'm used to reading music, sheet music that's
goes on and on.
Right, I'm like, how is this just a sheet? I'm looking up versions of it, and I'm like, they're all different. And I didn't understand at all about covering songs and that way that the music was shared and done differently by every artist. My brain just couldn't understand that. So I finally wrapped my head around it, and I still remember finding I think Diana Krall did a version, and someone made a backing track or something of the sort, or even maybe it was her version. But I had my iPod speaker, and I had my iPod that I brought to my friends' houses that all lived around me within like a couple blocks or like a couple streets. And I texted everyone that night saying, like, I have an audition tomorrow. Can I come swing by? It's like 7 or 8. You know, everyone's doing homework or, you know, hanging out with their parents or something. And I had my license because I was 16 or 17. And I was like, can I swing by? And I just swung by just to get some eyes on me, some pressure, some feedback. And by the time I was, you know, done, I went to maybe 5 different friends' houses. I was like, I can
do it.
Right.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Remember, if you do
cool.
it over and over and over again, and if you just have a set of eyes on you and no shame, you know, I'm like walking in with my iPod player and sitting down and you know, I remember even my friend was like eating dinner with their parents and they were like, can they watch too? I'm like, sure. It doesn't matter.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it worked.
That's cool.
That's the hardest part. That's one of the hardest parts of becoming an artist. But a jazz artist is what I'm most. When you tell your story, I'm so interested because the depth of what your talent is. You have you have the depth.
Thank you.
So where did the depth come from?
Okay, yeah, right. Because if I'm just exposed to, you know, musical theater and a little bit of big band music, that's not going to bring me to where I eventually go, right? So obviously, you know, there's missing things. So, I did. So I grew up in Northeast Ohio. I grew up near Akron.
Okay.
And then I went to school for college in a school near Columbus. But I didn't go for music. But I ended up studying music there because they had a small enough program and they kind of just absorbed me into it.
Okay.
And then I was able to even test out of the piano. I tested out of music theory. It just kind of was easy enough. And then I had a vocal coach who really kicked my butt. So that helped me vocally turn into a more mature and understood my voice. But even then, I was shy about talking with the professors there that were involved with jazz stuff, and I still had that imposter thing. And so my parents moved to Milford when I was in college, and you know, it's a really cute little small town, and so that summer, you know, when you move somewhere new, it's almost easier to put yourself out there, right? Because you know, it's like, okay, I'm familiar with this town because it's not a completely different city. It's I recognize it's very similar to the one I grew up in, but it's different. And so I went to some open mic nights. I was playing my guitar, and I was getting some good traction where I thought, you know what, jazz is really the kind of music I want to be playing, and I want to figure out how I can get there. I want to learn more. I was finally getting confident. I was seeing other kids do exactly what I wanted to do, or even just have like the guts to try something new. You know, I had friends who were going on workshops or conferences for their things that they want to do. So wouldn't there be stuff that would help me? You know, that's maybe not in the college sphere. And so I went to my computer and I looked up Detroit Jazz Workshop, and I bet you know what popped up. Scott Quinnell's workshop. And I registered, and it was the summer of 2018. Yes. And I registered, and him along with April Teeney and Ellie Martin guided me in and just blew my mind for the week. Blew my mind. I can't emphasize enough how much it changed my life because it tied up so many loose ends. I already had a ton of experience with almost every skill that they were talking about, but it was putting it into action. So someone telling me how it actually works, someone telling me, you know, and they didn't have to tell me once, especially someone like April, I'm sure. Have you met April before?
I have met, no.
Okay.
I don't think I have.
So her aura is like, she'll tell you exactly what it is.
Okay.
So she
I know that personality.
she's like, get your book, get your music, figure out your tunes, figure out your keys. You know, start doing this with, you know, call these kinds of guys so you can start working on this. Go to these places, and it just was like, okay.
You listen.
I was like, great. Don't have to tell me twice. Because I felt like someone finally saw me for the potential that I had. Because in the school setting, or just the timing of it, I never felt that, like, someone was like, see, I don't want to say it in a bad way because I don't want to paint my college experience in a bad way. Because I also don't think I was ready. I wasn't ready. But at the same time, there wasn't anyone pulling me aside and saying, "Hey, you have a lot of potential, and here you go."
Yeah.
They don't have to hold my hand, but I didn't have someone do that until Scott's workshop, and
that's great.
Yeah, and then as
Thank
you can
God
imagine,
for the internet.
But even
I still remember where I was too when I looked on the computer. Yeah.
What they honed in is just the technique, but you have the emotion. That's the beauty of it. Sometimes we need to learn how to talk.
That was your question, wasn't it?
Or yeah, it was no, it's okay. No,
all backstory is good.
Yeah, the backstories are so important. But when Scott Gwinnell has that that soul. For example, he was playing for the show and he's bleeding. Literally playing so hard.
Yeah, so I've heard about
he's bleeding.
Yeah.
And he would not stop. We're wrapping his hand while he's playing. That depth, And
I think I was inspired, maybe it didn't necessarily have an impact on my life as emotional or personal moments do, but seeing how someone like that and all these other professional musicians that I met at his camp, seeing how they hone in their emotions. Yeah. I forget who I was talking to, but I said, this job is the best for me because I can see now how it all works out, because it's a way of expression, and it's a way of creativity that I just adore. And looking back on my life, what I'd always wanted was to be a part of a bigger thing than just my voice. I wanted to be a part of the band. I wanted to be, and I remember even being in the big band, and they wouldn't have me be at every rehearsal, and I wanted to be at every rehearsal just so I can hang out with the musicians, and I would see these other kids, and I wanted to hang out with them, and hang out with the saxophone players and the trumpet players and the bass players and the drummer.
Get that stuff.
And that's one of the things that I love about it so much. And also because I was a very emotional kid and I was a very sensitive kid, then vocally using my voice, I think is the best way I was able to work on it, because I learned so many different other instruments, but it was voice that really stuck with me and made it so I could express that. It said. Sorry, I went on a little tangent.
No, I'm right there with you. You see, we're speaking. I know this language here. So, we did the performance at the Burt's Warehouse Theater.
So fun.
Yes,
and it was
great.
It was
an amazing night. It really was.
And I mean, everyone was entertained.
Yeah.
Tell us about the Anita O'Day tribute. Like, what got you started in that?
So I think just like you and your fascination with Billie Holiday, and that you see someone. You see one of the people that you look up to, and you find elements of them that you can latch on to, and then it kind of just unfurls from there, because I think we absorb so many things of different vocalists or musicians that we listen to. I still remember listening to a lot of Chet Baker and even transcribing a couple of his stuff and going to a jam session and someone saying, "Oh, you've been listening to Chet Baker," and I'm like, so obviously it all absorbs, but I found my fascination with Anita O'Day's style of singing and phrasing, and then watching her movie, but the movie they made about her, called High Times, Hard Times, or Hard Times, High Times.
I'm gonna have to write that down.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
I'm surprised that got past me.
And it's a movie based off of her book. So she actually wrote her own book.
Life story. Huh?
Yeah, because she was alive until 2000.
Yeah, she had a long life.
Yeah, and she
Where was she originally from?
Chicago. Yeah. So she and she went through some crazy stuff that you're like, how are you alive?
Yeah. Wow.
The music does give you a lifeline. I think jazz music gives you a bit of the Cats' lives.
Yeah. Hey,
like
Cats
that.
too. There's Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I just love her. And then, a couple silly things, like I got my hair cut and then people were like, oh, you kind of look like Anita O'Day. And I'm like, you know what? I would love to harness myself into a project. And that's something that Scott told me as a piece of advice of, I was starting to do different kinds of gigs, and I had like a bunch of tunes that I like to play, but it was starting to become just a pile of tunes that I don't want to just randomly pick. I wanted it to be methodical, and I wanted it to be purposeful, and I also wanted it just to be more than that. I thought project would be great, and so he encouraged me to do that, which has been really nice because then it is a box that you can work in.
Yeah.
So I thought this would be a great starting project. And then I just dove into, all the specific, because she not only had an interesting style of phrasing and an interesting voice.
Okay.
That she was having a tonsillectomy when she was a kid, and they cut off her uvula by accident, and that's why she has to shake her voice a little bit to get vibrato, and because it was like crazy doctor practices back then in like the 30s or 40s. Yeah. So
let's hear a little something. Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me hear this. We're listening.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tag her in while you're finish speaking about the beautiful old day.
Yeah, she's just so interesting, and after listening to her story, I was like, wow, she's amazing. And she was also one of the first vocalists who branched out of the bigger ensemble type of thing, at least one of the first vocalists from that fronting a big band type of songbird girl singer type of thing. And there's a video that I think is just one of the best small group videos with a singer, where she's on a TV show, and it's a really grainy video, and it's also really hard to hear some of the things, but she's on a TV show, it's one of those, wow, like they all sound like that, right. And old-timey. Yes. And there's a big band that she sung with, and then the host is like, now Mrs. O'Day is gonna now pick out a couple different guys in the band. And he was saying it like it was a new concept. And what he meant was a rhythm section. Okay. And so, and he's like, and she's going to delight us with a smaller group instead. And so she kind of, they pan over, and she's sitting in front of the drums, the bass, guitar, and piano. Okay. And she does Body and Soul. Okay. And it is just, she is dictating a first it's like a rubato free intro with the pianist. She's singing variations of the melody that are changing harmonically what is going on. The piano player is like trying to catch up with where she's going in her head. It's it's almost like beboppy kind of horn player like stuff. And then she goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the song starts going. My heart is sad and lonely.
Okay, I think we found it. Let's listen to it.
It is like I'm like, wow. You might have to fast forward.
She took it for a spin too, didn't she? Yeah.
And while we're setting up, everyone, you are watching the Preservation of Jazz Hour live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other social media platforms. Like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world.
We got it.
I did the same thing with Reed Lips.
We're trying to read sideways.
Oh, that's amazing. Yes. I love this show, and I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm so happy to be here. This is great. I could talk about this forever.
Yeah, and I love to hear you talk. You're very you're a good one. You're a jazz artist. You know what I mean? Okay, so let's see here. We're gonna go and
Ella, Billy, and Anita. Well, I guess that's about it.
Is this what you're talking about?
They cover all the territory.
I gotta fast forward.
Currently,
she got her little cigarette. She about to smoke.
New York.
Yeah, they
so cool. They so cool.
It was a part of the cool.
Lady has her way.
There we go.
Okay.
For you, dear Ollie, why haven't you seen? I'm over you, body and soul. I spend all my days in longing, and I'm wondering what I'm doing. I get me that young. When I tell you that I love you, love you, body and soul. Why, I can't believe it, it's so hard to
She's showing off, isn't she?
you turn away romance. Is it the ending? Or are you guessing? This is a party. What was just to say, dear, that my life break, my life break you're making, and you know that I'm yours. For
Do
just
you
the
know some of the
same,
people
all of
that
it to the
inspired
can up
her? 'Cause I
there.
hear some Ella in there. Everybody is inspired by Ella.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
this
know,
is-
that's just
yeah.
a natural way.
I actually don't remember the vocalist. Like, I'm pretty sure in the book she's saying
She
like,
spoke about
that,
it, yes.
that there's
And this
you know, like, the whole
1958
list.
too,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
she probably have the whole
58.
bebop era
Yeah.
to
Under
play
her
around
belt.
with
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the
yeah.
late 30s to what 54.
Yeah.
She get to play with all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Very
Did
interesting.
she make solo albums, or if so, were
She's
there
got
many?
so many.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
She has so many
great.
albums. She's got a couple of just like how Ella has like sings Cole Porter or
Yeah, okay.
whatever.
Yeah.
But then she's got her first album is just called Anita. It's got a couple of horn sections moments. And then my favorite album is the Live at Mr. Kelly's.
Oh,
which-
I'm taking notes.
Yeah.
You said live.
Yeah, Live at Mr. Kelly's.
Would that
which
have been in New York at the
it
time?
used to be a place in Chicago,
Oh, in
actually.
Chicago. Okay,
And
Mr.
I also
Kelly's.
recommend, there's, I think, 2 other Live at Mr. Kelly's albums. There's Sarah Vaughan Live at Mr. Kelly's. And then someone else, I can't remember, but I'm like, man, magic happened there. Like,
Yes, wow.
those,
Mr. Kelly.
yeah, I know. I was so sad when I looked it up and I was like, doesn't exist.
Gone.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We have Olivia Van Goor quartet here that just popped up.
All
Let's
right.
see what we can see here. With William Bennett, excuse me,
we,
My Lonely Heart.
Yeah, we used to work together. We don't as much anymore. So.
Okay. Is there
I'm not
any
sure where you're
particular one? I'm on YouTube. I'm
Oh,
a
okay.
YouTube girl. Can I pull up something that you might want to
Sure.
share?
Yeah, sure.
Any suggestions?
On my YouTube channel, I mean, I guess, I'm having a bunch of new stuff that I'm working out, so much of it is so much older.
Well, on my paperwork, I have When Shadows Fall. That
Oh, it's
sounds
When the
so
Shadows Fall.
interesting.
Yeah, that
When
was my
the
first
Shadows
album.
Fall.
And actually,
Oh.
I wanted to, if I knew that you were here too, I would give you one, but
Oh, that's fine.
I brought this for
Aw,
Sky,
That's so
Aw.
beautiful.
which is my first album.
Oh yes.
I
Let's
made
see the
it,
cover. Turn
I
it
love
towards
it.
your,
It's
your,
so
your, your
beautiful,
camera
isn't
so
she?
they can see.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, I can see it too from there. Very nice.
Just trying to figure this thing
Yeah,
out.
beautiful.
so that was the
That's so
first
nice.
one that,
We can share it.
yeah.
Yes, let's do that.
And from that album, I think I'm most proud of the tune Hershey Bar, which
Okay.
was inspired by Anita O'Day as well, because she did it. It's a 1950s instrumental tune that no one wrote lyrics to, so
You
I
did
wrote
the
some lyrics
vocalese?
to.
Oh.
I
Some
love. That's
lyrics
what
to
I
it.
love about you
Nice.
too.
Yeah.
That's
I think when I
nice.
first met you, I told you reminded me of Kirk
Yeah,
Elling.
you did. Yeah.
But I was just so excited,
Yeah.
because Kirk Elling is a dude. But you know what I was talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, I did.
Because he's really great at vocalies and
Yes, they were
and to hear you
marvelous.
do that
John
that
Hendricks.
night, I wanted
Yep.
something so
Yeah.
clean and so rich, and you came up there and you were so smooth and so confident. And I love traditional. I love jazz, but
Yeah.
I love clean stuff.
Yeah.
I like
yeah.
the clean.
Yes.
You're gonna go down Anita O'Day rabbit hole. I just know it. I just know you are.
It's like Manhattan Transfer. Oh my God, that's like
Oh my goodness, so
favorite.
clean.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, just
So, and what are we playing?
Hershey Bar.
Hershey Bar.
Yeah.
bar.
All right.
I think the way that is, so I haven't figured out how to make when I when I released the music, it like made a second YouTube page for the music, so it's not.
Oh
on
yeah,
my-
that thing happens. Yeah.
It's annoying. But I actually am releasing my second album in August.
Congratulations.
Yes.
I'm super excited about it.
Yes.
It's
So
called "Don't Be Mad at Me."
Don't be mad at me.
And and it has 2 originals and 5 covers.
Mm.
And I have the first cover. Obviously, it's a cover. It's the song "Over the Rainbow."
Oh, it's a music video too.
Coming out.
Is this a where? This is a music video.
Oh, the music video that I made with Matt.
Oh.
Yeah, we made a music video together.
That's so cool. All right, we're gonna play a little bit of that. Well, we can play a lot of it because you are the artist.
See?
We can play a lot. Okay, can you hear it? Okay.
Baby, you're a sweetie, just like a candy bar. Let me take a bite and
you know what?
maybe
I was
a little more. I cannot resist. You're appetizing in every way, every day. I think about you and I melt like a candy bar. Softer on the inside, break
And I
past the
was
chocolate
sharing
shell,
it
and I am all
like a whole
yours,
week.
completely and entirely
you.
so. I couldn't make up someone so sweet, even your imperfections make you complete. A perfect pick me up and always a treat. I got him never letting go. Even if I could, I would never change a thing. That's why you and chocolate both are my favorite things. I think you're the best. I hope you find me sweet.
I feel like I've changed so much. I don't know if you feel that way about listening to yourself.
I couldn't make up someone so sweet. Even your imperfection make me complete. A perfect pick me up and always a treat. The kind of never letting go. Even if I could, I would never change a thing. That's why you and chocolate both are my favorite things. I think you're the best. Sweeter than the rest. I think you're the best. I hope you find me sweet. You.
I feel so terrible. You guys didn't get to see the video.
I'll have to go back and look.
Yeah, that was what was that? Valentine's Day of last year.
Watch
Yeah,
cable
you all
free
check
live
that
TV
out, okay?
with no hidden fees
Yeah.
or long-term contracts.
Yes,
Sign
check
up
that
and
out.
start
So I'm
watching
gonna,
today.
stop
YouTube
this
TV.
whole
Try
thing
it free.
happening
Terms
here.
apply.
And Darlene, is there anything that you want to?
Well, I was looking here
bring
at
up?
her resume. So you have the recordings "Don't Be Mad at Me," and "When the Shadow Fall" allowed you to travel some major cities, and everything from Ann Arbor to Chicago, Pittsburgh, and additionally, we want to give you some flowers for Best Vocal Jazz Album
Nominated.
of 21. Nominated,
Yes.
beautiful,
Yeah,
beautiful,
thank
along with Outstanding Vocalist of 23.
Yeah,
Very
nominated.
good, congratulations!
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes,
It's pretty
great
crazy
milestones.
to I'm I guess at my 5th year of doing this or in this area, but minus the COVID times where I couldn't really mingle or hang out or meet anyone new. I just feel so welcomed by the city of Detroit and the surrounding area of Southeast Michigan. And I was born in Grand Rapids, so I was always a Michigander in my Michigan family. But I like, I can't believe it's only been such a small amount of time. I love it so much, and I don't want to leave.
Oh no, we don't want you to leave. And it's like you just stay.
Yeah.
And just if they want you to come, they can pay you.
Yeah.
And then they can bring you back.
Yeah.
Because the jazz community here is so loving and so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful to be a part. And we shared something. I shared this letter we're not. We did the whole thing. We dissected the letter and we did this whole thing, but that was just like one of them small things that happened. But the community, the jazz community here in Detroit is a community that I just personally fell in love with. And I didn't understand it at first because I wasn't in school. I was just kind of self-teaching and just doing a lot of traveling and everything. But again, Scott Grinnell and Scott Ryder, like all of the guys, you know, Phil Hale, Ralph Armstrong.
Kind of
We
took you under their wings.
Yeah, we are very blessed to have some of the best people, not just musicians and teachers, but as persons.
Solid people.
They're not.
I remember when I started doing this and I started gigging with musicians that I knew, and I would be telling my parents about this. They never discouraged it, but they would ask me questions. And especially when I was, most of my nights I'm hanging out at bars and places and doing gigs with like only men like 2 or 3 times my age. I'm like, no, but it's like it's different. Like I'm like a niece to them, or like a family member, because this is a family, and I feel so welcomed by it, no matter what age you are, and no matter what background you are, because we're all connecting on this level about this music.
Yes, we are. We are very blessed. I would have some musicians that I would hang with. They had wives. I'm not as smart as I'm smart now. I wasn't that smart then. I didn't know all the wife rules, until I became a wife. And I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have did that. We should have been just
so you
like
check yourself in the aftermath.
But I was so green that I was still happy because nobody took advantage of it. In fact, they didn't. I didn't get browbeat or anything like that, but just pulling my coattail on how to be.
Yeah, and they're protecting.
Yes,
I feel very protected.
Yes.
I feel like, obviously there's always going to be people who kind of ruin the party for everyone in every field and everything.
Absolutely.
But, here I could even, just by knowing that, if I need an instrumentalist for a gig and I ask you and you recommend someone I'd never met before, and then but you tell me that they're super solid, he can do this, and I love working with him, then if it had to work out where, let's say the gig is far away, I say let's carpool, I wouldn't be freaked out. I would still be like, I'm a young lady, but I wouldn't. There's such trust by just associating. Once you drop one name of, they know that, okay.
Oh yeah,
right, I trust
and that's a big thing with Detroit, that when our careers come to a point in Detroit, a lot of it is how you treat each other. That's a very important part of jazz. The conversation that we have, the respect that we have for each other, the consideration, being on time. Those sort of things can make you or disseminate you.
Definitely.
So we are blessed here in Detroit to have some of the best of that. I haven't really been in situations where people were just, it just hasn't happened here. And living in New Orleans and learning a great deal about etiquette, it helped a lot. But we're very and to Detroit,
Yeah, absolutely. But the tradition there is so vast. Talking about New Orleans, it's just. So talking about deep, that goes so very deep.
And then they start them real young. In New Orleans, I lived there for about 15 years, off and on. Summers I would come home, and they whip you in shape. And I called it jazz. I called it boot camp, jazz boot camp. Cause just like what you were going through with Scott Grinnell and April, that was some boot camp.
Oh, it was right, and I'm also so thankful that I'm in a position where I love not just singing, but I love band leading, because I can call other people now and decide
Yes.
okay, I want to get my butt kicked on this gig, so I'm going to call some people who
Yes,
where I'm going to be the least experienced in the room, and you know, I'm going to I'm going to know the least about this music.
Yes.
But then, you know, I don't want to do that every time. I want to do,
But
I wanna
yeah,
do
that's
some with
good stuff.
colleagues.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
But, you know, doing things every now and then with, you know, people, he'll laugh at me saying his name, but, like Paul Keller,
Yeah.
where he will just be teaching you all gig about what's going on, and you're just, I'm always on sponging, you know, and he'll be like, whatever, but, you know, it's just, I love doing gigs like that where I'm still learning.
Yes.
And it's funny too, because then it's, you know, the audience has no idea that I'm also getting schooled right now.
That's right.
And that's so beautiful because when you say music director, and I admired that. When did you start reading music?
I mean, when I started playing piano when I was like 8 or 9.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I was super into that, super in music theory. So
That's impressive.
I feel really lucky. Like I knew a ton of singers when I was in college, and you know, people where they were struggling with that, and I also aim to help with all my, especially younger students that are maybe they don't have any other instrument that they latch on to teach them that way it's not so much of a divide.
Okay. Do you feel that that's the most important instrument that a vocalist should learn in the industry right now?
Like piano?
Yeah. That's the most
I think
important
so.
one.
Because I see bass players who can, you know, play a little bit, or I see, you know, drummers who can play a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little. Doesn't have to be good enough to do a gig on.
Yeah.
I see that we are wrapping up, but I say one
Yeah,
thing
go
real
right
quick?
ahead, go ahead.
Just so I have a big show coming up June 3rd.
June 3rd.
And it's
June
something, it's the
3rd.
first time where I'm producing the show.
Oh,
so
okay.
at Grosse Pointe Unitarian Church,
Okay.
a 2-time Juno Award-winning Canadian vocalist named Katie George
Yes.
is coming in. She has family in Detroit, and she reached out to me and said, let's do a show together.
Wow,
So
marvelous.
it's going to be a duets show.
Okay.
I as officially tomorrow, the 21st of April, on Eventbrite, I will have the tickets for sale, VIP,
Wonderful.
to have Afterglow with Katie and meet her and talk to her and
Very
stuff.
nice.
And then regular tickets are also available.
So
just
June
wanted-
3rd.
Outstanding.
Marvelous. The
Super
big
excited.
big show is called. Is that the
and
name
that's
of
the
it?
best thing.
That's what I would.
Okay.
It's actually not called that, but that's
Okay.
what, to me it is.
Yeah.
That's the best thing to
Yeah.
do in this industry. We have to do our own productions.
Yes.
So we're going to try to get there.
Yes.
Yes.
That would be great.
And
I'll make
where will it be again?
Grosse Pointe Unitarian
Grosse
Church.
Point Unitarian Church.
There you go. All right.
I want to talk
Well,
to the people.
we want to thank our
Thank
guests so
you.
much, Olivia.
Thank
This
you
has
so
been
much.
a delight, really. I love what you have shared and the
Finally
way you
get to
grew in
talk.
this is
Yes.
marvelous.
Instead of,
Absolutely.
yelling over a crowded bar. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah, good
Great.
to
We're going to have
you.
you back on,
That'd be
okay?
great.
Yes.
So we're going to talk.
Yeah.
Give a station ID.
Yeah, we're going to do our final ID. You're watching WJZZ live live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. We'd like you to like, follow, share, and comment, and also subscribe. Thank you for watching WJZZ, the coolest station in the world. Yeah.
And
you
so
again,
Station
Olivia.
in the
yes,
world.
the coolest thing. I know. You know what? We've been saying it for so long, but you know, getting a little older.
Yes.
Thank
This
you
has been
all.
marvelous.
Thank you all for coming
Yes,
out.
thank you so much.
We have. I think we
So
got.
fun.
Yes.
This has been great. And much success on your upcoming
Yes,
events.
thank
We're going to have to come and
you.
check you out.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm headed out to a wine bar that I play at semi-frequently in Utica. It's
That's
great.
this evening?
Yeah, this
Yeah,
evening
okay.
with pianist Mike Harrison. And we're doing some just casual duet stuff.
Oh,
So
very
gotta get out
nice.
there and make sure.
Yes, and be careful too.
Yeah,
I will.
Safe travels.
Outstanding. This was so fun.
So fun. I feel like I could just
Yes.
chat with It's like, you
So
want to have
nice.
a bottle of wine? Let's make a night of it.
Look at that. Marvelous. Yeah, we'll have to look forward to that.
Yeah, and thanks for being so flexible with the time.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate
Knowing
you.
too that it's
Yeah, no,
Well,
we
see,
appreciate
actually,
having
you know
on.
what? Sometimes I like it. I like to be able to do
Yeah,
this.
yeah.